So you're in the market for a new phone and you got your eyes set on the new Pixel family. Good choice. But now you're wondering, Mark, I like them both, but I don't know which one to get. Well, in this video, we're going to go over the differences of the 7 Pro and the 7, and then you can decide for yourself if those differences warrant going for the 7 Pro or just sticking with the 7. So first, let's go ahead and start with the main deciding factor, the price. So the price of the 7 Pro is $899, whereas the price of the 7 is $599. So the difference is $300. By the way, Best Buy is running insane promotions on the 7 Pro, the 7, and the Pixel Watch. So if you guys are interested, links will be down below. Now, if you guys are running low on time, I'm just going to jump straight into the answer. Get the Pixel 7 over the 7 Pro. That's it. That's my answer. But if you guys want to know why, keep watching. So the Pixel 7 has a 6.7-inch 1440p AMOLED LTPO HDR10 Plus display that goes up to 120 Hz and has a peak brightness level of 1500 nits for HDR content. The Pixel 7, on the other hand, has a 6.3-inch 1080p AMOLED HDR10 Plus display that goes up to 90 Hz and has a peak brightness level of 1400 nits. So with the 7 Pro, you're getting a higher refresh rate, 120 Hz over 90 Hz, and you're also getting a higher peak brightness at 1500 nits over 1400 nits. But honestly, in real world usage, you won't really notice the brightness difference that much. It's only 100 nits. And plus, the 90 Hz refresh rate on the Pixel 7 is a nice middle ground between 60 and 120. So it's not as smooth as the Pixel 7 Pro, but it's also not as choppy as something like the $900 iPhone 14. There we go. The Pixel 7 Pro also has a 5x optical camera on the back, which is completely missing on the Pixel 7. Now, if we take a look at these two photos, both of them are at 5x zoom, but the Pixel 7 Pro just looks much better because it's optical instead of digital. The difference is quite obvious, but that's only if you take a ton of telephoto shots. If you stick with the ultra-wide or the main camera, these phones are basically the same. So speaking of the main camera, they both have the identical 50 megapixel camera and even the same exact camera sensor. So photos from the main camera will be, well, the exact same. Here are some quick shots for you guys to judge and see for yourselves, and well, yeah, I mean, they look the exact same. Now, the ultra-wide camera is where things get a little different. So both cameras are the same, but the Pixel 7 Pro does get wider, giving you 126 degree field of view compared to 114 degree field of view. So while, yeah, the difference is there, it's not that dramatic, at least in my opinion. They both get ultra-wide. The selfie cameras on these phones are also identical when it comes to actual camera and the camera sensor. So another obvious difference is that battery life. The Pixel 7 Pro just has better battery life. It's a much bigger phone. So you get a 5000 milliamp hour battery in here, and on the Pixel 7 you got a 4355 milliamp hour battery. From my testing, the Pixel 7 Pro gets around 7 hours of battery life, whereas the normal Pixel 7 gets around 6. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the apps you do, depending how often you use them, depending on how often you use the cameras. Are you video recording? Are you not video recording? There's so many variables that go into battery life that it's just hard to say which one is going to be performing the best for you. But obviously, since the 7 Pro is a much larger device with a much larger battery, this should on average last you, well, longer. So charging speeds. Well, Google hasn't really updated them, unfortunately. So we're still getting 30 watts of fast wired charging. And when it comes to wireless charging, they're both basically the same. The Pixel 7 goes up to 20 watts of fast wireless charging, and the Pixel 7 Pro goes up to 23 watts of fast wireless charging. So, I mean, yeah, basically the same. You're not really going to notice a 3-watt difference in charging speeds. I mean, that's nothing. So they're basically equal. You should get around from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes. Now, when it comes to cell service, from my testing with T-Mobile, identical. Even when it comes to coverage, there's a lot of dead zones in my city because I live in the middle of nowhere, literally. So there's a lot of dead zones, but these two phones kept up just fine, and I haven't been stuck without service yet. But when it comes to actual speeds, the Pixel 7 Pro does have 5G ultra wideband, so you can take advantage of that if your carrier allows it and if your plan allows it. And the Pixel 7 has sub-6 5G. I use T-Mobile, so I don't notice a difference. They both get between 700 and 900 megabits down and about 100 to 150 megabits up. But a lot of people were wondering if the service issues were fixed because the Pixel 6 had bad reception for some people. For me, I didn't really notice that. But the Pixel 7s, they do good. I haven't really noticed anything wrong. So now let's talk about the physical differences. The Pixel 7 Pro obviously has a curved display, which isn't as dramatic as before, but it is still curved. For my usage, I didn't really notice any distortion. There's no shadowing effect on the where the screen kind of curves over. There's no shadowy effect. It looks good, but if you do prefer a flat display, I think you're going to be preferring the Pixel 7 because, well, it's a flat display. And I personally like this a lot better, by the way. Another difference are the camera bars. The Pixel 7 Pro has a more luxurious looking camera bar as it is polished aluminum, and the Pixel 7 has a matte finished aluminum. Personally, I like the matte finished aluminum more. I feel like it's gonna kind of hold up better to scratches and abuse, especially if you're just laying down on the table a lot. The Pixel 7 Pro, again, does look a little bit more luxurious. I mean, it looks really good, especially in this hazel color. I love it. But that's going to get scratched up. I have a really, really good feeling this is going to get scratched up because polished aluminum, I mean, I'm surprised mine's not scratched yet, to be completely honest with you. But we'll see how this handles after a few months. Now, the back of the phones, they're both glossy, so love it or hate it, it's here. So I'm not a big fan of it, as you can tell. Both phones start at 128 gigs, but the Pixel 7 Pro goes up to 512 gigs, and the Pixel 7 goes up to 256 gigs. But the RAM is also another difference. With the Pixel 7 Pro, you're getting 12 gigabytes of RAM no matter which storage option you're going for, whereas on the Pixel 7, you're only getting 8 gigabytes of RAM, again, no matter which storage option you go for. For me personally, in my day-to-day usage, I haven't really noticed that big of a difference, if any. But if you are a power user, well, obviously go for the Pro. So for the price difference of $300, I can't really say you got to go for the Pro, man. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to click on that Best Buy link down below and get the Pro. No, you should only get the Pro if you really want that 120 hertz display, if you really want that 5G ultra capacity or ultra wideband, or if you really want that 1440p display that I still don't really have. Like I'm using them day to day, side by side, and I don't really notice a difference. So, and I can't really think of anything else that you would need to get the Pro model, or maybe if you want 512 gigs of storage, onboard storage, then the Pro is your only choice. But honestly, man, for $599, the Pixel 7 kind of it kind of takes the win. Personally, I don't really care about the telephoto lens. Yeah, it's cool, but I just don't really find myself taking a ton of telephoto shots, which is, again, why I do prefer the Pixel 7. And again, man, that price is just so damn good, especially if you trade in, especially using that link down below. You also get a $100 gift card. What? I'm telling you guys, I think you should save yourself $300 and just go with the Pixel 7. I honestly think you're going to love it. So if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer in this video and you're just dying to know them, do drop me a comment down below. I try to read as many as I can and answer as many as I can. And if you are new here, consider subscribing for a lot more Pixel 7 videos coming on the way and Pixel Watch. So if you guys want to see that, definitely subscribe if you haven't already and like the video if you enjoyed it. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.